Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. In this video, we are going to look at a new tool called TidyBlocks, which is a very efficient way to teach data analytics to someone who is starting from scratch. So this may not be applicable for someone who is experienced, or this may not be applicable for someone who knows to program very well. But this is a very good resource if you are a parent and you are trying to teach data analytics skills to your kids, or you are a teacher in high school and then you want to have your students have this mentality to approach data analytics in the way which is called as the tidy way. So first of all, before we even start with how to do and what to do, so this TidyBlocks is built on the same technology or platform that is used to build Scratch. So Scratch is very popular. If you are a parent and if you are in computer science domain, then probably you would have already explored Scratch. Scratch Junior is the best way to teach programming to kids. A lot of people actually do that thing. So it's based on a platform called Blockly. So it's TidyBlocks is also built on the same platform. So currently TidyBlocks is available on multiple languages: Arabic, English, Spanish, Italian, and Korean and Portuguese. So I know only one language, so I'll just pick English, and then let's see what we can do with this. So the first thing is they offer you 5 data set, if I'm not wrong. Okay, sorry, they offer you 3 data set: earthquake, penguins, and fish. So you can pick any data set and start putting together blocks. So like I said before, so if you're slightly familiar with the Scratch, or if you know how these things work, so all these things that you want to do in a typical data analytics environment, let's say doing a basic transformation, making a simple plot, or you want to do some t-test, or you want to do some kind of logical operation. So all these things are created as a block. So let's first start with a very simple thing. Let's take a data, and in this case I want to take colors data, and I'm just simply running colors data. So when I take colors data and when I run, you can actually see that the data is output, and there is a console also if you want to understand what is going on behind the scenes. So this is done. Okay, so now let's say that you want to see output where only red is greater than 0. So what you have to do is you have to go to transform, take a filter, and the good thing with this is it gives a very nice click sound, the haptic feedback, the typical feedback that you would get on an iPhone or a Mac. So very similar to that, it gives a click sound that tells you that you are doing something with this. So I need to filter, but this filter has something inside it. So let me slightly zoom in for you to see clearly. Okay, this seems good. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to say red greater than 0. That's a logical condition we want to do. So filter is done. Now you have to go to value and then say I want to do a column. Okay, operations. This is what we want. We wanted to do column greater than 0, and the column name is red greater than, and you cannot just simply type in the value, because you can see that you can put only one other card within this block, very similar like how you have jigsaw puzzle, and you can also see how these things match. So you see this thing, this actually fits with this thing. Based on that, you can understand whether what you're doing is. So currently I cannot put this under this, because there is no way for me to fix this. I can just put this inside this, because that's what the puzzle jigsaw structure tells me. So red is greater than, and then go to value and then say I want a value which is greater than 0. So now I'm going to put this inside my filter and I'm going to run it. So you can see that now I'm seeing result only where I've got red greater than 0. So that is a good thing that we learned the first step, how to do a very simple operation. So we'll just go back and then run the same thing. So now you can see this thing. So let's take a different data set and then try to do slightly more complicated. So the objective of this video is to introduce TidyBlocks to you and motivate you to start using TidyBlocks. And if you're someone who teaches data science or data analytics, I'm not talking about the machine learning part, but at least the most important first section where I've got to play with data. Someone who doesn't come from a computer science background will have a difficulty in understanding how logical operators work. That is something that again you can teach. So if this then that, so these are the things that you can actually teach someone. Also if you are familiar with grouping and summarizing. So that kind of view, that is also something that people actually struggle a lot. So you can teach with this. So now let's pick another data set, which is, let's say, penguins data set. This is a great data set. If you have not seen it, you have to check it. So this data block is for you to understand the column names or whatever it is. I'm going to just display this thing. So let's try to make a simple scatter plot with this first. The scatter plot should say, okay, I'm going to simply take a scatter plot, put a scatter plot. On the scatter plot, I want to say species, and my x-axis must be bill length mm, and my y-axis is bill depth mm. And if you want any color, then I can probably say, okay, I want a color and I want a, okay, let's first run it without a color. So you can see that it has created a scatter plot. Just by looking at this plot, you can see, you know that this is based on Altai. Yeah, you can download the plot, or you can view the compiled Vega, whatever works for you. So now that you have got a normal scatter plot, maybe you want to add a line to it. So you run it again, it adds a line, just a line that is fit, and then it displays the r² value of this thing. Maybe you don't want that, but you want to add a color value. So in this case, I want to add 6 as the color value. So you can see female is here, male is here, all these things. So this is all good stuff. With a bunch of card movement, you can do this thing, and you can also start explaining this to people. Okay, so probably the final thing that we would do is, let's do a group by. Let's look at the data once. Let's look at the data. Let's say we want to see okay, average by species. So first thing is we need to group by. We need to group by species, and that is done. Once we do that thing, what do we want to do? We want to summarize. We want to summarize. We want mean, let's say, or let's take everything. Okay, let's see. And for which column we want it for bill length mm, and let's run it. So you can see that okay, let us run this once again, and then you have a group value. That is good. So now you go back and then you say I want a count of bill length mm. So you get the count. So count is done. So you can see that it has given you a count of particularly this column. But what if you want sum? It gives you the total sum. So what it does is, if you're familiar with R programming language, instead of summarizing, it gives you everything. So it actually basically it's like mutate rather than summarize, but we'll just get there. So how you can get there is, you can go here and then say unique of column species, and yeah, run it. So now you have only these 3 values. So we basically don't need all of these columns, which we can remove it. But first let's say I want median. Let's try any 1 second. So it doesn't work. So let's take median and run it. So ultimately our objective is just to take the species and then leave out all the other values. So you can go here and start selecting the column that you want. Select all the columns that you want. For example, you want species, you want okay, species, and you want bill length mm. So what is the column name? You can check it here. It's not displaying, so let's just run it. So you got the column name, bill length mm. So now what you can also do is, on top of this, now you can make a plot, whatever plot you want. So you can go here and then say name is species, and my x-axis is bill length mm, and then I'm going to run this. So you have got a dot plot. So the idea is that now you learned how to use this tool, and you have got an overview of what kind of things that you can do with the tool. So let's just quickly go over it. So you have these data sets. You can generate your own data, or you can even upload your own data. So that is also possible. And the next thing is you want to bin it, or the basic transformation operations that you do, basically grouping. After grouping, what are all things you do? So do you want to save it by a new column name? Like for example, in this case, let's say after grouping by, maybe I don't want to call it bill mm, I want to say bill mid, and let's see what happens. Say bill, okay, it doesn't necessarily show, but you can actually see how do you want to save it, all those things. So the next thing is let me just delete this, put this back so that we have, okay. Also you can insert cards like this if you are not familiar with that. Then bar plot is there, so we should have tried bar plot instead of dot plot. That's my mistake. Spacious, my x-axis is bill length, and yeah, okay, run this. So you have a bar plot that is also interactive. So the next thing is you can actually look at the basic stats, t-test, k-means cluster, silhouette if you want to do clustering. Okay, and you have got the logical operations, increment, or you want if condition, else condition, or you want to compare two values. And then finally values, like let's say you want a normal column that you want to access, like we just did the first filtering, or you want a date variable, you want a logical constant. These are all constants: text, integer, boolean, date. And then finally, in case if you have two tables and you want to combine them, like a typical SQL join, you can still do that. And finally, if you want to do a seed value, let's say you're doing something random, so you can do that here. So this is really handy tool. You can do a lot with this. You can also save your plot, the results, all those things. So it's a very good tool. You can see, like I said, you can load your own CSV here. You can save it as a workspace data, all these things. So this is a really handy tool if you want to learn or if you want to teach actually data analytics principles to someone who starts with data science. This is really handy. So if you want to know more about it or the backstory of it, you can actually go to, there is a guide page where they have got how to do things, and also you can look at their blog and see their project history, the first post. So this post you would get to know like what is happening behind the scenes, why did they even build this thing, and who is behind this, all these things. So we would link all these things just below the like button. If you had liked this video, please like the video, or like actually clicking the like video. Please subscribe, it means a lot. And if you have any comments, or if you know any tool like this that can democratize learning data analytics or data science, please let me know, because this is something that a lot of people should start understanding, because data is everywhere. We don't want someone to fool around throwing up something. So it's always good if you have data literacy, and this is definitely one new tool that can help people have a data analytics approach in anything that they do in a tidy way. So thank you so much. So if you want to see Maya Gans who worked on this, and also Greg Wilson, so thank you so much Maya and Greg for putting this together for us. I might have missed some other names in this thing, but this is a huge effort, and I'm so thankful that this is live, and it can make a difference in a lot of especially places where proper education for data science is not available. So thank you so much. Until next video, take care of yourself. See you. Bye.